Oh my goodness, if you guys were here at 9 a.m. with Ty, he spit so many different gems. And as I stated before, maybe strategically or maybe intentionally, because this is the halfway mark, we have two guests today. So I'm very, very happy to have the guest that we have in queue for today. It's Sharyn Sheldon from Content Sparks. And as we have her queuing up here, I just want to share with you guys, thank you so much for those who have reached out, who've attended thus far with the Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series. And like I've been stating, like a broken record, I've been intentional in making sure that the guests that we have for this whole week are business veterans, people who've actually been in business for more than a year, for more than 2 years. And it's intentional in that regard because I want to share that not only does video work, but it works for those who are experienced in business and those who keep utilizing it and using it over and over again and is consistently getting results from it. So that's why I decided to do this amazing success series and being very intentional as far as the guests that we have here throughout the week. So let me bring up Sharyn right now on the screen. So give me 1 second as we queue her up. And welcome, Sharyn. How are you?
Hi, Monique. I'm great. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So, for those who have no idea who you are, can you please share with us a little bit about you and what you do, and also your business?
Absolutely. I started out as an instructional designer. I won't go back all the way back to everything I've done, obviously, but I started doing that in about 1993, I would say, after a very unpleasant beginning in investment banking. And I worked in consulting for quite a long time as a learning consultant, so designing training programs for and training solutions for corporate, like Fortune 500. And then I really wanted to be able to live and work from anywhere in the world. That was a goal. And I had kids and looking ahead for when they were gone, and we loved to travel. And my husband said to me, well, you should go online and have an online business. So, sure, I'll just go create an online business, right? This was in about 2010, and everything was about content, 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 do blogs, post a lot of content. And it doesn't really work like that, or at least at the time, I could see that that wasn't going to be a real future for me. So I found this thing called PLR, private label rights, that I learned about when I was in a conference at some point, a workshop called NAMS. And this just sounded great. Sounded like I could use some of my experience and do it a little bit differently. Because PLR, for people that don't know what private label rights is, it's something where you can take content and you get a license to use it under your own name and to edit it however you want. So what I eventually did, what the business morphed into, is me taking my instructional design experience and creating these training programs that came with that same license. So I don't really use the PLR term anymore, but it's the same concept. You get this complete training program ready to teach, and you can teach it under your own name and customize it to your own market. And we focus on creating business training, since that's my background, for business coaches and consultants and really anyone who's helping others grow their business so they can create courses. So it really empowers them, because most business coaches and consultants really don't have a lot of time. They're working one-to-one with clients, and maybe they want to give more to those clients, give more training and stuff that they don't have time to create, or they need to generate more leads. So create some sort of like free training, help, or just new streams of income, so they don't have to work one-to-one so much. But they don't have the time, or they don't have the experience with creating training, so they come to me. So I'm kind of the premium provider in that market, in the PLR market, even though I don't like that term because it has old connotations that people don't like, of cheap stuff. So ours is really like the top-notch stuff that we would have created for a Fortune 500 company. But business coaches and consultants then can use it as their own. So that's the long story, slightly shortened for you.
I love it. No, no, thank you for sharing that. Seriously. So I just found out some commonality. I started on Wall Street. So investment banking was something that I was pursuing at the time. And however, my career started as a financial analyst instead. But I did the internships and all that. So that's really cool. I see that we have that similar background. And then also mentioning NAMS. I've been there maybe once. I remember, it used to be hosted here in Atlanta, where I'm located, and the lovely David Perdue, such an amazing individual, and also an online entrepreneur with so many years of experience. But I thank you so much for sharing your story. Seriously, don't think that you're being too long-winded or anything like that. In fact, the more you talk, the more the juicy stuff comes out. So I'm always highly encouraging people to not to hold back. So thank you for that. So, and with that said, you kind of mentioned to us how you got started back, I think you said 93, but how many years have you been in business?
So, well, I was doing the consulting from about 93 until maybe 2010 or so. And so my online business really started about then. It had a few hiccups starting out, and then it really took off maybe in 2011. So, I've been working for a long time on the whole learning training field. So that's over 25 years. But my online business is now about 10 years.
Okay, I
And
love it. And again, like I said in the introduction, those of you guys who are watching this live or even on the replay, I'm being intentional in making sure to select business veterans to show up during this whole week in this whole success series. So there's someone else, Gail, our very first guest. She's been in business for 10 years, and she was kind of shy about it. And I said, listen, especially in the United States, like there's so many businesses that fail or have to close up shop within their first year. So don't be ashamed if you've been in business for a very long time, because you made it through.
oh, and speaking of that, so okay, I've been doing the instructional design stuff for over 25 years, like 27 years. But when I was starting my own business with the private label rights initially, nothing was really happening. I was just sort of creating this stuff and not getting a lot of traction, kind of doing what I was told. And I hired a coach to help me in it for a little while. And I was like, okay, if it doesn't really start moving in the next month or so, I'm just going to throw in the towel and try something different. And she said to me, she was like, Sharyn, you're just like that person digging to China or digging under the fence. I don't think she said digging to China, but digging under the fence and stopping right before you get to the end. And you just have to be persistent. And luckily, I'm pretty stubborn by nature. Or sorry, persistent, not stubborn. Bad word saying stubborn. But I did keep at it. And then I had like one person affiliate who promoted me, who liked my stuff and decided to share it with his audience. And that just took off from there. And it snowballed. So once you get a little traction, and I knew there was a market there, that was part of it, just knowing that there are people who are going to benefit, who are going to want what you're selling. So yeah, you just have to keep at it. Things don't take off. People expect that they'll post a few videos and put a little content up and produce something and the money will just roll in. But anyone who's really built a business knows it takes a while. Even that so-called passive income stuff, which is a myth. There's no such thing as passive income. You work really hard to set that up. I can say, oh, I make sales overnight and I make sales when I travel all over the world, which I do, but I've worked really hard to set that up. And I also set up a lot of automations and other things and keep track of it and have people helping me, even though I did it all myself initially. So yeah, you have to keep at it.
Yes, and in fact, a good friend of mine, John Lawson, shout out to you. He's on the same boat with you as far as there's no such thing as passive income. Like it drives him nuts when people say that. And you're right. I mean, I agree with you. And there's different theories or things that people have about it, but it's true. It takes work, just like it says. It takes money to make money. All of that thing. Puts in the work that you need to get to that passive income instead of just thinking it's just going to happen based on reading a book or doing something. So I appreciate you sharing that. So, with that said, based on your 10 years of experience and all of these amazing experiences that you accumulated over the years, why should a business use the medium of video?
So video, video is something I avoided for as long as I possibly could. To me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do an online business so I can hide behind the computer and I never have to see anyone because I'm an introvert. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to see people. I certainly don't want to show my face like on camera. Oh my God. And listen to myself speak as well. That's even worse. So I did avoid it for a long time. And then I don't remember when it was. It was maybe somebody talked me into it, but some coach or mentor said to me, get over it, Sharyn. That was it. They just said, get over it. You have to do some video because it's how people see you and connect to you. But also when it comes to, everyone talks about engagement, how video helps you engage with people and build trust, of course, because they hear you and hear that you know what you're talking about. But also in the training world, of course, you're appealing to different learning styles. So not everyone wants to read and not everyone wants to look at a picture or a slideshow. They learn better just by listening to you speak, which is the audio part, a podcast, but the combination of the visual, seeing you and listening to you and reading stuff as well, all combined to make a much better learning experience so people take in what you're saying. So that's really important. And also there are people who don't like video. I don't like those trainings where people only have video. You need a combination of different elements, the text, the video, the visuals, stuff like that. So from a learning perspective, it's really important and just attracting other different people and helping them take in and understand what you're saying. And then, of course, like I said, there's the engagement factor. So when people see me speaking, say in the Facebook group or on a video, and then they read my emails, because I'm very big on email marketing, they can connect a voice and face with what I'm writing as well. So it makes everything else have a much bigger impact. And some things are just easier to explain when you're speaking it out loud, just, versus trying to write it all out. And I'm a writer. So that is what I prefer. My preferred medium is usually to write, but sometimes it's just easier. So those are just a few things. And it's not going away.
No,
Video
it's
is
not.
always going to be around. So
Yes,
you
and
have to just get over it.
yeah, thank you. I feel like every single guest thus far has said that blatantly, bluntly. Those of you guys who are watching, there's no hiding from it. You're right. Ty even said this earlier this morning. Like you said, the different ways that people consume information, auditory. The different modalities rather. And it's like for me, I hate writing. English was not my forte. So when I did discover video, it was huge. And then for you, being an introvert and a writer, a lot of times you don't find too many of writers or introverted people, let alone writers, who are willing to get on video. So that's very intriguing that you realize that. Shout out to whoever coach or mentor said, get over it, Sharyn, because I'm pretty sure it's definitely skyrocketed your business. And, those of you guys who are watching, initially you're not your videos aren't going to be good. Like if you were to look at my first video, Sharyn, if you were to bring
Mhm.
up your first videos, you probably cringe so hard like someone's putting their nails on a chalkboard when you see those initial videos. But you have to start from somewhere. And you know, the different people that are out there that you all look up to who are using video all the time, just look at their initial videos, because everyone started from scratch and started from horrible video, horrible lighting, whatever, being a deer in headlights, being very awkward, and it's just a matter of practice.
Oh, yeah. And also, the first one I did was maybe a 2-minute video, and it probably took me all day to get it done and do it multiple times. And then I'd look at it and say, ooh, I had a thing on my face, or oh, my voice sounds too high, or it sounds too low, or, oh, I had a little hair out of place there. I have to do it again. And then editing wrong. And I was just telling you before we got on about my experience with the camera. So, this was my big tech problem I had. One of my biggest tech challenges was I kept doing this video where there was a big black band across the top. I researched online, I Googled, I tried to find out, support why this was happening. And my son, who was maybe 12 at most at the time, walks into the room and he's kind of techie, but I said to him, I can't figure this out. I keep getting this black band. And he looks and looks at my computer and he takes the webcam and he moves it over. My webcam was on top of my computer monitor camera, and the computer had defaulted over to the monitor camera for some reason. I don't know. Whatever it was, that was the solution. Really simple. So one of my first videos.
Hey, you gotta love it. You gotta go through that initial growing pain.
Oh, yeah. And editing and all that. There's always something. And I still see so many things I can improve on, but I just keep saying to myself, got to do it. Minimum, just good enough. I'm not going to be a professional videographer. That's not who I am. And I can always be improving and trying to make the quality of the videos better. But it's better to just get it up there and show yourself, because people don't really expect you, unless you are a videographer, in which case you're probably not listening to this at all. But if you're just trying to get into video, it's more important to just get it up there and get comfortable with it, because the more you do it, and this was another mentor who told me this, just do it over and over and you get more comfortable. Because I'd said to him, well, how do you do these sales videos and you just speak and you sound so polished and professional, and sounds like you didn't even stop at all? And he said, oh, well, I do it all the time. That's why. Just do it every day. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So, I mean, this live, I never would have done this maybe even a year ago. I was still so afraid to do anything live, because that's even scarier to me than recording something. Recording, you can have a script and you can go back and do it again and revise it again and again and again. But live, you have to actually think about it a little bit and still make it casual, which is great, but you have to think before you speak a little bit.
Yep, most definitely, most definitely. And yeah, thank you for sharing that, because based on what you just shared, and being vulnerable and just sharing with you guys, look, Sharyn's been in business for over 10 years, a business veteran. She had her initial hiccups, and she even just stated how, like, even a year ago, for live video would not be something she would even consider. However, she put in the practice and the work as far as like with pre-recorded video for her to finally want to consider that. And, with that said, Sharyn, how do you currently use video in your business?
So I'm using video now in so many different places that, when you asked me this before and I started writing down all the different places, and I was kind of surprised because I was going to say, well, sales pages and some training, which is kind of obvious. So like tutorials, but then I started going through. So there's training, actual like paid training and free training. that I'll do on video. A lot of that is screen share and maybe some slideshows and a little bit of on camera. I don't do a lot of on camera when it's training because it's usually trying to, unless it's showing people, like I'll do a combination just to connect. But I'll do tutorials that I'll put into blog posts. I also do those sorts of things for customers. So in customer support, both in the FAQs, so in our knowledge desk, as well as just if somebody has a quick question, well, you can just hop on a screencast. I can quickly show them how to do something and then send it to them. And I can do the same thing I've done this in a Facebook group where people have a lot of questions in our customer group. So I'll do a quick Snagit screen recording to explain it and then post it in the group as well. So there's a lot of that customer support stuff. So that, like, also in the community, so I'll do a Q&A sometimes. That's the live video stuff that works really well with sales and stuff. Oh, we did a challenge back in August, September, where we did Facebook Lives every day. So live streaming and explaining stuff and having some Q&As for that. And one great thing we did with that at the end was get some success stories on, kind of, I think you do the same thing, and got a lot of testimonials. So we're trying to pull those out too that I'll be able to use. Affiliate training is something I want to do more of. I've done a little bit, but a couple videos and stuff for that. But I want to do more of that as well. So things just telling them, where to find a link. Little things like that are so quick and easy to create, but they'll help the affiliates understand what to do. And blog posts, highlights I've done. So there are tools for that. I've used Content Samurai for that now. There's some free ones too. Lumen 5, you may know. I really like Content Samurai. I've been using it for that kind of thing for the blog posts, but for inspiration videos, like just with quotes and music. But with Content Samurai, I started doing some sales videos where I have the bullet points for some slides, and then I'll add an on-camera video clip at the beginning and end, so an intro, outro. It's really nice. They kind of splice it all together for you automatically and put in little video backgrounds and stuff. So that's kind of cool. What else have I done? I can't think of anything else right now, but there probably are some others. It's amazing. It's just, one thing after another, and it's using the basic tools. Like I love Snagit, Snagit and Camtasia, but Snagit is my favorite for just doing those quick tutorials and screen captures and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And those of you guys who are watching this like live and on the replay, like all you got to do is, based on what, Sharyn, what you just shared with us, it seems like when you're looking to utilize video specifically in your business, you are putting the customer first and you're meeting them where they need to be met. Meaning, like, for instance, the mere fact that you're using a lot of your video for the customer service side of your business, because, sometimes people, depending on what it is that's in your business, they need to visually see a demonstration or something like that. Like you said, you want to focus more with affiliates, showing them where they need to go when they sign up for your affiliate program and things like that. And to me, it's just a matter of you really seeing, okay, there are certain gaps that my customers need to be met, and knowing that video is so powerful that that is the way to go. And I'm pretty sure you have, because like you said, you're not a fan of those who just have video accessible, but have written content as well as a guide or major bullet points and things like that. And sharing especially that major resource Content Samurai, which I will say frankly I have not used before. So it's definitely something I want to check out. But just basically what I'm trying to say is I really love the fact that you are being intentional on meeting your customer where they need to be met. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's more, firstly, I find those sorts of videos a lot more enjoyable to make. So they're what I lean towards anyway, because somebody asks you a question and I could write out a whole long answer, which I often do. And then I realize, well, I can just explain this on a video. and then combine the two. But it's just, somebody asks you a question, you answer it. You answer it with a video. That's fun to do, and you're making them happy. And as a result, I get a lot of feedback saying that those are the things my customers do love. So I continue doing them. So that's kind of just a very natural thing when somebody asks you a question to answer it with a video. Sales videos I really hate doing. Like I put them off as long as I possibly can. So that's a separate thing. I mean, if somebody else could do all my sales videos for me, I'd be quite happy. Whereas the training ones, you're sharing your expertise or you're answering a question. To me, those are just a no-brainer
Mm-hmm.
to create. And you don't have to be on camera at all. You can just be explaining something on the screen.
Exactly.
And it's very simple and easy to do. So I always lean towards those, and they get the most feedback. So if you're in that kind of business of helping people, then that's just going to be a natural type of video to create. And they can be simple, simple ones, a question you get all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think of one offhand. Like, oh, for example, my customers, they're always trying to find their downloads and I'll get this question all the time. Where's my downloads? Where are my downloads? All you have to do is go into your account and log in. And here's the downloads section. And there they are. And then a little tip on how you can search for something. Well, one video and that's done. And I can just share it over and over along with the text underneath. And then that became an FAQ in the Knowledge Center in Zendesk as well. So that kind of things, just start with those and you won't have any problem at all.
I
You might
love
do it
it.
a few times.
I love it. And then also, something you mentioned, oh, success stories. People call them testimonials. To me, in my honest
Yeah.
opinion, they're the most important type of video that every business should have. There's no such thing as having too many, but to have that foundation or support to show that, okay, these people had this problem. They came to me for a certain solution. I gave them not only this solution, but this amazing experience. They got results and they have a story to share with you all. And there's nothing more, those of you guys who are watching this live or on the replay, there's nothing more powerful than video testimonials, success stories, et cetera, because it really takes, even though the focus might be about your business, it really takes the focus off of you, because who wants
Hmm.
to listen to someone talk about themselves all the time? You want someone else talking about your business, not necessarily you talking about your business all the time. And if someone is praising you for whatever service that you provided or your product, whatever it is, and the problems that you're solving, there's nothing more powerful than that. Seriously.
Yeah. I need to do more of that. Definitely.
So, with that
It's true.
said,
Because,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was going to say, because I don't like talking about myself,
Oh,
or asking for things. And I'm sure a lot of people are like that. You don't want to ask someone to talk about you or to praise you or share feedback. I've gotten better at it in text,
mm-hmm.
of asking people, when they spontaneously give me feedback, like good praise or whatever, asking them, can I share that as a testimonial? Just that little thing. So the next step is getting onto a video and doing that. So we had that with this challenge we ran. Unfortunately, Facebook Live, I know that live video is your expertise, but Facebook Live, the quality of the video that we got that came out was not great. So
Mm.
I don't even know how much of it we can use. And we had great testimonials that came out of it, like really terrific. And then we downloaded it from Facebook. I was like, these are terrible. The quality is
Oh no!
terrible.
Have you tried, since you mentioned Camtasia, have you tried like just doing a screen recording of the video if the quality
Ooh.
wasn't that great? Do
Oh,
that.
because it plays well on Facebook.
Right,
It's
so
just the
that's what I mean.
download doesn't. Oh, thank you. I got a lot of value out of this.
No
Great
excuses here,
call.
okay? There's always a workaround. Yeah,
Right.
just use Camtasia to screen record, and then of course you know how to edit, like to crop out whatever part of the Facebook part you don't, where you just want to focus on the video, and screen record it. That's
I'm going to do that.
all
Thank
right.
you. Didn't
Awesome.
think of that. It seems so obvious, and yet I did not think of it.
No, it's okay. No, seriously, it's okay. So, based on what you shared, you do all types of video for your business, whether it's the sales video that you hate so much and procrastinate, and I procrastinate on it and I do video. So you're not the only one there. And also on the customer support side, can you share with us like a specific example? And I'll leave it up to you, however comfortable of how much you're willing to share of, where you've received direct results, right? Where video has
Mm.
helped you generate revenue or leads specifically.
Well, oh, I'm getting a little echo, by the way, out of your speakers. Um, everything I do with video does have some purpose, whether it's for customers, and that's where people are getting the support and the tutorials and stuff like that and help. Therefore, they come back and buy more. So, things like that are not direct results, but the sales pages, of course, having the video, I never really know, is it the video or is it the sales page or is it the topic? But some sell better than others. So, it's a mix of them. It's very hard to measure results from that. I did this challenge, recently. It was a 10-day online course challenge that we're actually going to launch again. It's into a more evergreen one, a free and a paid. But we did live video for that every day, and I got about 1,000 leads out of running that challenge, which was really great. And then some of those people did convert and buy as well afterwards, and then they want to come back and do the challenge again. So I know that they'll buy more as well. I don't know the specific numbers offhand, but like one of our programs, full price programs, is $297. And then we gave a coupon at the end of the challenge so that people could get 50% off. So, maybe 50, 20, 30, 40, whatever number of people bought or used the coupon, that's direct sales really from video and challenge combined. So that's, again, it's hard to measure for each video.
Right.
Um, paid training video, that's always going to be direct. I'm trying to think. When we do a Q&A, like a Q&A live, and that was something that one of them I did during your challenge.
Okay.
So it was part of the challenge, I think, was to do
Yes.
an AMA and Ask Me Anything Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So I just quickly did one because it was part of the challenge, not a lot of preparation on that. So people didn't even know it was going to go on. And I had a few people on live, and one person did come to me afterwards and say that she'd bought the program that I was talking about in the Q&A. And she did it while she was listening to it. So that definitely helped there. And then some people watched it later afterwards, and it definitely gave a boost to the final sales of that. And I'm going to do one tomorrow as well. At least that's the plan, on the last day of another launch. So
I love
I'm
it.
always doing it.
If you guys are wondering like what Sharyn's talking about, so recently she participated in a 7-day challenge that I did, talking about Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and yeah, I remember when she shared, because one of the prompts, or to me, the very first or easiest type of live stream that any business owner can do is doing a live Q&A or an AMA, Ask Me Anything. And that was one of the prompts. And I remember when Sharyn said she did it, and then she got some results from it. So thank you for sharing that, because, yeah, I feel that in AMA, you can never go wrong. You don't need a script. You can just go on a whim, and that's what happened with you, Sharyn, even though a lot of times it's great to notify your audience ahead of time that you're about to do one, but you can literally do one on a whim, and then it automatically positions you as an authority, because people are asking you questions. If you have an answer for them, they're like, oh, wow, this person is very knowledgeable, or, they know what they're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. And then in your instance, Sharyn, people heard you talking about your specific program that you were selling at the time. So to me, you can never, ever, ever go wrong with a live Q&A, especially when it comes to live video.
Yeah, and what I did, since I knew there weren't going to be a lot of people on live, since I
Mm-hmm.
didn't warn them, is I collected and kept track of questions that I had received in the past, and also thought of ones that they might ask. So made up questions and had those as answers, and basically walked through those.
Yes.
So that way, and I said during it that people should leave their questions below. And then I also took some of your pointers of saying certain things during the AMA, making sure that the link was there and people knew what to click on to go learn more about the program. But having that preparation and having my little notes, my Evernote with my notes open of all my questions and answers, having those ready and being able to discuss those, since there weren't going to be a lot of people on live. So that's the thing about the lives, is there aren't always people there live. So you have to be prepared, to get those, to know what to talk about. So yeah, that was a big help. And I just wanted to say you asked about direct results. And, I haven't really measured direct on the video, but I know it has results because when customers come to me and I get the feedback via email or others saying, "Oh, it's so helpful. I love your tutorials. You're the handful of, just a few people's emails I open because I know you're going to have tips and other things." Then I know it's working. And I know because I was just looking recently at what my return customer rate is. About 70% of my sales are returning customers or repeat customers, which I don't know what an industry standard is, but I think that's really good.
No, that's really good. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great, actually. And some of the things that you said. So, for one, for those who feel that, oh, Sharyn, Monique, you guys have like a large audience or somewhat of a presence, so of course you can do the live Q&A. What Sharyn just shared with you guys is what I teach my students in my program, Live Authority. But is yeah, especially when you're first starting, you might not necessarily have a lot of live viewers, but still make it for your benefit. So the mere fact that Sharyn took it upon herself to look at the frequently asked questions that people have asked or people have asked before. So it's great to collect have a bank of those things and have those available to you, especially when you're just starting out. And the thing is, like, especially when you go live, the longer you go live, the more the opportunity for people to hop on and see what it is that you're talking about. So if you have these questions, you're addressing them, and then someone comes on and says, "Oh, I have a question about this," then the conversation gets going, and then more people are coming, etc., etc. So that's a huge pointer for those of you guys that are watching this. Even if you're someone where, like for me or for Sharyn, even if you have an audience, or even if you warned your audience ahead of time, there might be some dead space. So always, always, always have questions readily available that you can address. And especially, I love the part that Sharyn included, the ones that she knows that her customers or potential customers needed help with, or specific problems that needed to be addressed, because that's key. That's key. And if you're wondering, like, the challenge that she was referring to, the 7-day Facebook Live challenge, I am posting another one. This is just a soft little pitch here. But you guys can go to moniquejohnson.com/FB challenge to check out the next one. But, Sharyn was a part of that. Sharyn got second place for that as well, based on her efforts and things like that. But, based on just everything from your knowledge, Sharyn, and your experience of the 10 years of the videos, things like that. If there's someone who's a complete newbie when it comes to video, what is a major tip that you can share with them? Say it's someone is a business veteran who has some, years underneath his or her belt, but they know video's the way to go, but they just never done it. And what advice can you give to them to get over that initial hump?
You mean other than saying get over it?
Yeah.
Now, I found that the easiest way to start is to do those little screen share videos. So you don't have to be on camera and you don't have to worry about that. And you're talking about stuff or showing people something. Because if you have some sort of experience or something that you know, it's that is going to be natural for you to go through and record a video. Do something really short, something simple that people ask about. Don't try and do a long 20-minute video. I have a tendency sometimes to go into too much detail showing people. So you want to cut it down to something very short that you can show in a short video because people like those little bite-sized videos, something they can learn quickly. And then you can always have a series of them. But look at, common questions that you've seen, if you haven't gotten them, that you've seen people have, and then show them how to do it in a screen share video. And I know there's free software for that. I've never had a lot of luck with the free stuff, so which is why I use Snagit and love it, and Camtasia more for the editing stuff.
Sure.
And then when you get more comfortable, you can do a little on camera and start to use that a bit as well. But definitely do some, unless on camera is your thing and you're very happy being in front of the camera, which I'm assuming you're not if you haven't done video before. It is easiest to do those screen shares. And when you do the screen share video, what I always do is I set up everything first that I want to show, and I have a little outline with my notes of what I have to step through to make sure I cover, and I do one run through, and then I do the recording and actually screen share. And if it's short, you can always do it again. It's not a big deal. If you're doing half an hour, then it's a pain in the neck to redo it. So that's another reason to keep it really short as well. And that's it. And have a good microphone.
No,
really, that so many people use just the internal audio like on a
yeah.
laptop, and it's terrible. And there's nothing worse than having really bad audio and having your video ruined by that.
Preach.
So,
Okay, I preach this to the world. I'm saying you could have the worst looking video, but if your audio is horrible, no one will stick around. But
yeah.
if you have amazing audio and fun, you're having some hiccups with the quality of your image, you'll be surprised. People will stick around because, especially if you're providing like great value, all they really need to hear is what's coming through your mouth anyway. So I'm glad you shared that, and I hope you guys have noticed a pattern with Sharyn, and I love this. Sharyn prepares. Okay, guys, like I love how she said, you have notes. She has all the different windows or things that she wants to share when she's doing a screen share ahead of time. There's nothing, what's the word, what I'm trying to say? I'm saying there's nothing better when it comes to video for you to prep for it ahead of time, especially when you're starting out. The more prep, the better.
Yeah.
However, I don't want you to get hung up on it where you end up being paralyzed either. But especially when you're getting used to it. And then Sharyn, as you shared, I think you had a previous mentor where, he did it all the time. So he could just do one takes or do things, on the fly. You work up to that. But of course, you got to prepare, guys. You can't just do it. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. And even with the on-camera stuff, which I can never remember what I'm supposed to say. I'll have it all there in front of me, and I've said it a billion times. And then as soon as I start recording, I completely forget what I was going to say. Even if I memorized it, I forgot. It's just the way I am. But so what I do now, maybe I'll get better at it. But I definitely have improved a lot in doing it. And I don't, even though I'll script something first, I don't stick to the script. I just make sure I have it there. And then the editing is your friend, even with on camera. What I do now is I have it laid out. So I'll do one little bit and then I'll pause, and I have this kind of worked out where I sort of make sure I'm sitting still and I have a smile on. I'll pause, I'll look down at my notes and read, okay, what am I going to do next? And then I look back up at the camera, try and have kind of the same expression and do the next bit. And I do that throughout. And then when I go into Camtasia, I just edit out, cut the other bits. And it jumps from one to the next, but that actually looks good because it keeps it moving. Or at least I've been told that that's a good method, and it
Yeah.
seems to work.
It's a reset button, because us human beings, we have an attention span of barely like a 3-year old. So, yeah, that's what that does. It's a reset button. So with that said, I have one last question for you. So we talked about
Sure.
the newbies. So what if it's someone who has done video, maybe a little bit or maybe a lot, but they're just not getting quite the result they would like, or they feel like there's just something, they're just, they don't see what everyone is talking about as the hype behind video. What advice could you give that type of individual?
Well, it really depends what they're doing now that they think is not working. So, if it's something like a sales page video, you have to see, you can do a split test and have one page with video and one page without to see whether it's even the video that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something completely different. It could be your sales copy on the page or what you're actually selling. So it's not always the video.
Right.
Um, and then if you have customers, you ask them what they want in terms of video, ask for feedback, especially your best customers. I'd go directly to them and say, hey, I've been doing video. What do you think of it? Have you found it helpful? What else would you like to see? And get direct feedback. I mean, I always rely on my customers more than anything and the feedback I get from them for, with them saying, okay, I love your tutorials. If I ask for feedback and people say, well, you're speaking too quickly on them, I don't understand what you're saying, I can't follow, or you're speaking too slowly and I'm falling asleep during the video. And, here I'll be really trying to be energetic and everything. And then I have someone say, oh, I find your voice so soothing. I wasn't trying to be soothing. I was trying to be excited.
Right.
So that's my version of excited. So speaking directly to people and really finding out, and then the split testing, which granted I haven't done, but that's the sort of thing I would do if it's something like a sales page. It really depends where you're having trouble with it.
I love it. No, those are great pointers. In fact, it was even something Ty, the guest that we had earlier today, he was like, test, 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 the headline, et cetera, et cetera. So, you guys are on the same page in that regard. So again, guys, thank you so much for those of you guys who are watching this live and on the replay. We are at the halfway mark, day 3 of the Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series. I'm so ecstatic and happy to have Sharyn on here and actually meeting her for the first time, like virtually, like seeing each other in person. It's been an extreme pleasure to have you on here, Sharyn. I can't thank you enough for sharing your insight and your experience over the past 10 years. And those of you guys who are watching this, just the ways that she utilizes video. She uses it for her sales and marketing, but also I really like how she has a strong focus on the customer side. Hopefully, Sharyn, you're able to get those success stories, doing a screen recording of it, since unfortunately the one that you got from downloading it, which that can happen. Guys, just screen record the screen and it'll work as if you downloaded it in the first place. So I just want to say thank you so much for being on today.
And thanks for inviting me and for the tip. I'm going to go do that on the screen recording.
Awesome. So guys, I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll have Donticia Seymour from Content Nation, Creation Nation, come on, and we will wrap this up on Friday. Okay, so Friday will be our last guest, and I'm excited to see you guys there. In the meantime, in between time, Sharyn, where can people find you online?
Oh, well, you can find me at contentsparks.com. So that's contentsparks, all one word, .com. And also, my email is Sharyn@contentsparks.com, but I'm Sharyn with a Y. So if you put in SHARON, you're not going to get me. It's SHARYN. So you can reach me there too. But contentsparks.com.
Awesome. And you guys can see her name on the screen right now. It's spelled properly that way. So that's how you spell her name. And in the meantime, in between time, guys, do not hesitate. If you have any questions, any follow up questions, reach out to Sharyn or leave a comment down below here. And we'll be sure to address it. I'll be sure to forward it to Sharyn. So without further ado, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you so much. Take care.
All right, take care.